Don't worry about it.
Being a new mother, I did a lot of research about sudden infant death syndrome. This was such a scary subject for me that I wanted to make sure my daughter would be as safe as I could make her. Sudden infant death syndrome is the leading cause of death in babies under the age of 12 months. 3,000 babies die from SIDS each year just in the United States. SIDS can strike without warning, even in seemingly healthy babies. This is a very scary thought, especially as a new mother. But although SIDS can happen to anyone, there are some things you can do to decrease your baby's risk. First, I would like to start by explaining what SIDS is and who is most likely to be a victim of SIDS. I am going to tell you all about sudden infant death syndrome, all about statistics, and what SIDS is. We will start by discussing what it is. According to the book Baby's First Year, SIDS stands for Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. There has been years of research done on SIDS and still no answer for why it occurs. There are, however, theories that SIDS is related to subtle immaturity in your baby's nervous system, infections, or possibly a heart defect. Present studies suggest there may be a defect in part of the victim's brain that regulates breathing during sleep that affects the brain's ability to sense carbon dioxide. When a baby dies of SIDS, there is no sign of struggle or suffering. SIDS can happen to anyone, even in a healthy baby. Let's move on to the statistics of SIDS. Stated in baby's first years, 90% of babies that die of SIDS are under the age of 6 months old. Babies are most vulnerable during the ages of 2 to 4 months, 2.5 months being the average age for victims of SIDS. 2/3 of deaths occur in the winter months. Boys are more vulnerable, with 60% and 40% being girls. Now that we've discussed what SIDS is and the statistics of SIDS, let's move on to the things that may leave your child at a higher risk of sudden infant death syndrome. There are some factors that can increase your baby's risk of SIDS, such as babies with mothers younger than the age of 20. Another factor is if there is a family history of infant deaths from SIDS. If a baby is born premature or low birth weight, it can also increase the baby's risk. Race can play a factor in the increased risk of SIDS. This is not understood yet, but African Americans and Native American babies have higher risk. Let's now talk about the factors during pregnancy that you can do to decrease your child's risk. You should be sure to get early and efficient prenatal care. Also, you should not smoke, drink, or use drugs during pregnancy and avoid being around people that smoke. Now I am going to give you some tips that reduce your child's risk of being a victim of SIDS. According to Caring for Your Baby and Child, always place your baby on their back to sleep. This is especially important in the first 6 months. It is told in every book to always place your baby on their back to sleep. It reduces the risk of suffocation. Written in Your Baby and Child, tummy time is essential when the baby is awake and alert. You should never leave your child unattended during tummy time. When your baby is asleep in their bed, do not leave soft blankets, pillows, bumpers, and stuffed animals in your baby's crib. This can result in suffocation. A firm mattress is ideal for baby. Also, make sure your baby doesn't get too warm during the night and never allow smoking around your child. Breastfeeding can also reduce the risk, and using a pacifier at bedtime. Now, there are controversial theories about co-sleeping. Some suggest it decreases the risk, and some says it increases the risk. No matter what you do, always make sure your child is safe and has nothing around him or her that they can suffocate from. According to infants, toddlers, and caregivers, you should always be sure your child is up to date with all shots. It can reduce the risk of baby getting sick and help your baby stay healthy. So now you know what SIDS is, the risk factors for SIDS, and the steps to help prevent SIDS. You are now better prepared for when you have a child of your own. SIDS is a very terrifying and sad thing to think about, but now you know some tips that can reduce your child's risk and some factors that can increase your child's risk of SIDS. As a young mother, I found all of this information very helpful in keeping my beautiful daughter Shiloh safe when asleep.
Yay! That was good.